Alton, Georgia, Saturday, October the 16th. Coming up right now will be an interview, hopefully coming up right now will be an interview with Mr. John Lewis in Sparta, Georgia, afternoon of October 16th, 1971.
The best information you could get, most of these people that were friends of ours in the Rivers days, most of them got Ed was about 3 years younger than I.
Is that right?
79. John Grimm and down in Musgrove was somewhere down in Homerville. Yes, Homerville.
A fine man.
That's right, and Brad Brantley up there with the highway
I
department.
hadn't talked with him. You think I'll see him?
Well, you might. He was with the highway engineer, W.B. Brantley.
All right, sure, I'll talk to him.
And he's very intelligent, and his memory's good.
Yes, sir.
He would probably be able to give you some information. I was trying to coach Jim Gillis,
Yes, sir.
and Jim, his memory's good about these things. He was up there, and he was on the highway board when Ed Rose
When they had that big fight and all.
was on as governor.
Yes. Well, when did you first meet Governor Rivers? I mean, when did you first get to know him?
Well, that was the problem I was talking about. First knew Ed in the legislature.
Oh, I see.
And we served together in the Senate in 1927. Let's see just a minute.
All right.
State Books Official Register.
Oh, yes, sir.
And this is 1963 to 64.
Yes, sir.
But of course, this goes back on the things. And he was from Renell County.
Yes, sir.
Now, Ed Rivers served in the House. I served with him in the House. Let me see now to be sure. In the House in 1925.
Oh, my goodness. Quite a while ago, wasn't it?
That's right. And I served with him in the Senate in 1927. We were both in the Senate together, in the Senate.
Yes.
Now, Ed was elected governor in 1937.
Yes, sir.
I think that's correct.
Yes, sir, that's right. He ran in 36 against Charlie Redwine.
That's right.
And then, of course, he ran again in 38.
Now, he ran against, after he had served, he ran against Talmadge, and Talmadge was elected later on.
Yeah, so that would be 46, I believe, 1946, when Jimmy Carmichael
That's right.
County.
They had a race back. I don't
Yes.
remember the dates of it. But
Yes.
didn't get-
Did you support him then? I mean, did he see you there?
I supported Ed Rivers in his first race, but in that race with Talmadge, I did not.
Yes, sir.
We'd had some little differences.
Mhm.
And, but Ed Rivers appointed me as purchasing agent,
Purchasing agent.
and I served. That was his first term,
Mhm.
and then in his then I went out. He appointed me to over as director of the State Hospital Authority.
Uh-huh. What about that election of? Let me ask you this, Mr. John. Oh, you know, in '36 he really won real big, and then in 1938 he had a real tight election. Why do you think that happened? I mean.
Well, I don't know. Ed was elected. He served 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he served his first and second term, and I supported him in both of those races.
Yes, sir.
And Glenn Thomas was my roommate. He was worked as an attorney over in the highway department. He was later on Solicitor General. It was then down in Jessup's Wayne County. He was in Wayne County of that circuit.
Uh-huh.
And we went together up there. But I was with Rivers. As I say, I served with him in the Senate in 27.
What was he like when he was in the legislature?
He was a wonderful person. Ed Rivers was a fine person.
Mm-hmm.
He's very brilliant, and he was. I thought it keep up. Later on, I don't remember exactly the year, but they were talking about making him ambassador to Mexico.
Yes, sir. I
And
just.
they had a man to come down here to see me
Is that right?
with the federal government. I reckon he was interviewing other people too.
Mm-hmm.
They asked me about him, and I told him that Ed was a mighty fine person. They couldn't do better than to make him ambassador. But however, he was not appointed.
I see. Wonder why. Do you know why?
No, I do not. I don't know why they didn't appoint him. And I don't remember right now offhand who was president at that time.
I don't know who'd be. Maybe Truman, I guess. It would be.
Could have been Truman.
Imagine it'd have to be a Democrat.
It was a Democrat.
Yes, sir. Imagine maybe Truman or Roosevelt.
And I was just don't remember now whether it was in the Roosevelt administration or Truman.
How did people, one thing I'm trying to find out is, you know, about the 1938 election and George's race and Rivers' race and how he sort of stood on that race.
There was, now in the,
When George,
I believe, I don't remember that the year, but they had a speaking business over at, let me see now, where was that speaking? It's down, I don't know where that speaking was. I went to it. They had Roosevelt and George were over there.
Must be Barnesville, you reckon? Is that what you're thinking of?
I don't remember, just that's what I say. My memories are so bad over there. They had a speaking over there, and I remember Senator, the president was after Senator George. At that time, he was opposed to him. And I don't remember who introduced the president over there. It could have been Ed Rivers, but I'm not sure whether it was or not. That's the reason I say I would think Sam Boykin or John Grill
Yes, you might remember.
or down in Musgrove.
But I knew, you know, you were close to Senator
Well,
George, too.
that.
You were close to Senator George also.
Well, yes, but I just knew him and had a great admiration for Senator George.
Uh-huh.
But never did have, he was much older than I was. And I went to Washington for a while as with Congressman Johnson as clerk of the Naval Affairs Committee. That was before they consolidated those two committees, the Armed Service, the Naval Affairs and the Military Affairs. Now it's the Armed Services. They are both associated. It's made one now.
Yes. Did the people who supported Vinson support Rivers too, or did it differ? I mean, you know, it doesn't mean specific people, but just in general.
Well, I don't remember about that. And, you know, you may find in some of these statistical registers how these different counties went. I don't know whether they give them all in all years, but they had in some of them.
I don't know whether, you know, the same type of men supported them and all, whether, you know, like, well, I mean, apparently there was sort of an anti-Talmadge and a Rivers faction and a Talmadge faction.
Yes.
And I didn't know how people like George and Russell, you know, how they stood on the Talmadge Rivers side.
I really don't remember about that. He succeeded, that's Eugene Talmadge.
Yes.
He succeeded Dick Russell.
Yes.
And he was governor from 1933 to 1937. Then Ed Rivers came in and succeeded Governor Talmadge, and he was governor from January the 12th, 1937 to 1941. Then Governor Talmadge came back and was elected and served 2 years from January the 14th, 1941 to 1943. That's the time that, of course, Rivers was not eligible to run then. And then Governor Ellis Arnold came in after Talmadge and served from 43 to 47. And then Talmadge ran, and I think that's the race that Rivers and them were in. But Talmadge was elected but died.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Talmadge was elected to go in after 47, but he died before he took office.
Oh, was that when they had all those big fights?
That's right. Then we elected, the legislature elected Herman Talmadge, but Thompson was acting governor because he was the lieutenant governor. And then Clement ran and then was elected in 48. Whatever year that was.
Yes.
Now, no doubt about Ellis Arnold. He's there in Atlanta. Ellis can give you some good information.
Were they real close? Real close? I know he was.
Yeah, Ellis and Rivers were real close. And there's Ed Rivers had, he and Lucille, they had 2 children. There's there's a boy,
that must
E.D. Rivers Jr.
Oh, I see.
And then he had a daughter. And father of Ed Rivers' son-in-law.
I declare, I didn't know that Talmadge appointed him on the highway board.
That's right, I'm sure that's correct.
That's something else.
I think you check with that now.
Oh, sure, yes, sir.
Check with about that, and I think you'll find that that's correct.
That's sort of ironical. The father of the man his daughter married.
This goes after Ed was defeated for governor, and that's I don't think any governor, with the exception of, I believe, Herman Talmadge and Gene Talmadge, are about the only two that have ever been elected after they served their 4th year. Now, Ellis Arnold was defeated.
Yes, that's right. Well, Sanders was defeated.
Sanders was defeated.
Now, I got it working for you. Now you don't have to worry about talking. You pick it up.
You go ask me a question?
Yes, and you just leave it there, Mr. Footer. Anyone.
Pick it up.
Yes, because
Both of
everything is real good. Yeah, I have to turn it up and be picked up. Well, I don't know. I think maybe you just started talking about, how you first got to know him. And I'd like to know what life was like at Young Harris.